the desert neon blue spheres. I had been going to the desert for years, always seeking the perfect spot for stargazing, away from the city lights. The stars were breathtaking out there, so clear, so close, it felt like I could reach out and touch them. This time, I was determined to find the best vantage point. After hours of driving, I reached the edge of a deep canyon and barely stopped in time to avoid falling over the edge. I couldn't believe my luck. I spent hours stargazing, eventually falling asleep. I don't know how long I slept, but I woke up to the brightest flash of lightning. The night sky seemed blurred, and a strange sound, like a zooming wave, filled the air. I looked down to see small neon blue spheres scattered across the ground. At first, they were just around me, but they began multiplying, spreading as far as I could see in every direction. The scene was surreal, but I didn't feel scared. A peaceful calm surrounded me. Then the spheres, about 2 inches in diameter, began to float, rising to chest height. To my astonishment, I realized I was also floating, hovering about 6 feet off the ground. I must have been suspended there for about 8 minutes when a brilliant blue lightning bolt shot down a mile away. At that moment, all the spheres exploded in a splash of water, and I fell, hitting the ground hard. Shaken, I got back in my 4x4 and drove away, though I couldn't remember how I got home. For the next few days, everything seemed normal, until Sunday. I decided to visit the local casino, hoping for some luck with roulette. I placed a $50 bet on red, whispering, "Red, red, red," and sure enough, it hit. I kept betting, each time whispering my choices, and every time I won. By the end of the night, I had $36,000. As I left the casino, I stopped at a diner. The waitress brought me dessert, saying, "It's on the house." She returned with a flirty smile, saying, "Everything's on the house, and here's my number. Call me." Her name was Sue. I was stunned but smiled awkwardly. Something was definitely off, and I started to panic. Weird things kept happening over the next few days, random acts of kindness and good fortune, all in my favor. But it took a turn for the worse when I got a call from my best friend's mom. He'd been in a car accident, so I rushed to the hospital. When I arrived, my friend, who had been badly injured, was standing and putting on his pants as though nothing had happened. As I walked through the hospital, it was chaos. Patients all healed, trying to leave, and staff scrambling to stop them. Security was called, and I managed to escape through a back door, but my friend couldn't leave. The next morning, there was a knock on my door. 4 men in black suits were outside. Panicked, I ran out the back and hid, watching as they broke down my door and searched my apartment. When they were gone, I got into my SUV and drove back to the desert, desperate to find the place where the strange event had occurred. I drove for days, but I couldn't find it. On the brink of running out of supplies, I stumbled upon a cave and decided to rest there. As I fell asleep, I was awakened by a bright flash of lightning. To my shock, the cave was filled with the neon blue spheres. There were so many that I could barely move. I must have been stuck there for hours, unable to escape, until suddenly all the spheres exploded again, drenching me in water. I left the desert and returned home, ready to turn myself in. When I walked into my apartment, my friend was there, acting as if nothing had happened. He had no memory of the accident. I went to the diner, but no one remembered me or the waitress named Sue. I tried my luck at the casino, but this time I lost. I went to the glove compartment of my SUV to find the napkin with Sue's number, but it was blank. I was left with a growing sense of dread. Had it all been a dream? The strange occurrences, the good fortune, the healing power? Weeks passed, and I started to accept it was all in my mind, until one day as I was cleaning out my old SUV, I found a blue neon sphere under the passenger seat. My heart skipped a beat as I reached to grab it, but just as before, it exploded into a splash of water. "What the heck?"